Thank you for being patient, this is part 2.
We've got legend updates as well. We've got Caustic on here. His ultimate, its cooldown is being increased from 2.5 minutes to 3.5 minutes. That's quite a lot. I mean, I know Caustic is quite a dangerous character at times, but that's quite an increase. And his Nox gas, its damage, instead of it being 6 to 12, depending on how long you've been in it, it's just going to be a straight up 5 health points per tick, if that makes sense. So Pathfinder, they've removed the low profile. It's used as a balancing tool and to balance out his hitbox, but I think they've now got rid of it. Gibraltar, they've removed 15% faster heal item usage while in his dome. That might just be to compensate for the new dome system they're putting in. And also, if they do make it like a regular thing in the game, then yeah, that would be another reason to get rid of it. Horizon's Black Hole, her cooldown has been from 2 minutes to 3 minutes as well. Revenant, his silence now disables Mirage's cloaked revive and respawns, as well as Octane's swift mend. Watson now has passive shield regeneration of 0.5 health points, so it's half of what Octane's health regen does at the moment, but it's nice that there's another character that regens their own health and shields. That'll be really good to see in game. Hopefully more people will be playing Watson now. We've got Rampart, explosive damage, amp cover normally instead of inflicting... Hang on, explosives damage, amped cover normally instead of inflicting 200 damage. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry, I think I was just reading it wrong. Explosives damage Sheila normally instead of inflicting 175 damage. So I don't know how this is going to work. I mean, it just means that you got to throw more stuff at the shields and Sheila to actually break them. So we'll see what happens. Weapon updates, all gold AR and LMG default optics updated to the 2x bruiser. I guess that's a good thing. I mean, the Spitfire was kind of awkward with its 1 to 2 on it. Mastiff, the pellet damage decreased from 13 to 11 and rate increased from 1 to 1.1. The fire rate, sorry. So yeah, we spoke about this again in my previous video. Something was going to happen with the Mastiff, and it has. So, yeah, the damage has actually been decreased, which is something that I said they might do, but the fire rate has been increased. It's only a very slight increase, but we'll see how that affects the game. The Wingman, you can put an extra bullet in the magazine size. Okay. The Hemlock, increased hipfire spread. See, again, that's like a awkward thing. We'll see how that affects the game. Quality of life changes. Kings Canyon loot. We've done a pass on the loot to bring up the quality across the map, while also maintaining a certain amount of loot after Mirage Voyage has flown away. Wooden shacks across the map should have a few more pieces each. Spotted Lakes has been reduced to medium instead of high quality items. Crash Site has redistributed the loot in the area. Caustic treatment has more loot than water treatment and remains high quality. Locked weapon optic swappings. So we spoke about this. It was something that we thought might be coming. For guns with fully locked attachment slots, like fully kitted gold weapons and most crate weapons, you can now remove the optics and replace it. So that would be really, really good to see in game as well. Like I said previously with the Spitfire, it was a 1 to 2. So although it's now being dropped with a 2x instead, To be able to change it to a 2 to 4 or even a 3 scope would be so much better. So with gold guns now, you can now change out the optics, which is fantastic. Assists in-game have been added to the in-game HUD next to kills. Okay, so you can see your assists like you would in ranked. So that's really good to see. But assists still don't contribute to your XP, which is kind of a shame, but at least you can see that you're doing stuff with having the assists added on. Assists and knocks have now been added to your squad banners and will show at the end of a match. Club names will now appear on match summaries and champion screen if all players are part of the same club. That would be really nice to see. That's something that I've kind of been interested to see if they would do. And badge progress. For badges that have longer amounts of progress, hovering over the badge will show more information, sort of how far you've got left to go. So that would be really good to see. Ping my death box. While respawning on a dropship, you can now ping your own death box to locate it easier. That's something that I've really wanted to see as well. That'll be really, really good for people coming back into the game, and it's just like, well, where did I die? It sort of flashes up briefly, but it's not like long enough to actually be able to see what's going on. Gold backpack. Players being revived by a gold backpack will have a crackle of energy based on their tier of armor they wear. Okay, so I think you're just gonna come back with a decent amount. Well, not like a decent, but like a bit more armor than what you were previously, which would be really good. There's so much going on here. Players on PC can now go back to the title screen from the lobby to allow switching of data centers without restarting the game. Added numbers to the advanced look controls. This should help people experiment and easily revert back to their favorite settings. When scanning a beacon for Ring 6, you should now be able to see the location of where Ring 6 finishes. I didn't know that was a problem. I guess they mean the last ring. Inspect weapon. Since the survival slot took its button on the controller, inspect weapon has now been moved to the emote wheel by default. It can be bound to any key on PC. Bug fixes. Gibraltar corrected an issue with Gibraltar not getting hit registrations when simultaneously released ADS and shooting while his gun shield was up. Wraith players can no longer cancel into the void by jumping at a wall. I didn't know that was something you could do. New Skydiver mode will now work with legendary skins. Caustic fixed a bug that was causing Nox gas to flicker for some players affected by it. Octane repeatedly using the same jump pad no longer disables double jumps. Players are no longer allowed to glide along a wall after using a jump pad. Crypto's animation to bring out drone is no longer skippable by throwing a hollow spray. Crypto can no longer teleport to a replicator. Reloading the Mastiff and 3030 will no longer be faster while in Crypto's drone. Loba fixed a few areas Loba could teleport into that would get her stuck. Rampart players that can no longer use Rampart. Let's start again. Rampart players can no longer use Sheila to get under the world when placed too close to the phase runner in Olympus. Horizon fixed the gravity lift falling through the floor when used on train tracks in World's Edge Sorting Factory. Using a zipline after a gravity lift will no longer increase accuracy. Why was that even a thing? Fuse Motherload will now damage and destroy jump pads. When under a small enclosure, players will no longer be pushed out after using Motherload. Players can no longer double their grenades after looting a dead fuser's box. Yeah, I did see that was an issue. Mastiff, dropping and picking up the Mastiff will no longer cause it to be reloaded. 3030, again, same issue with it being reloaded if you drop it and pick it back up. Will now have spread deviation when ADS firing and jumping. Miscellaneous fixed a bug preventing Steam users from sending friend requests to each other. Usernames now update when a user swaps between Origin and Steam. Fixed a bug preventing players from creating or joining clubs due to their EA account already being associated with another platform. That is everything on here for you guys. I'm really looking forward to this. I hope you are too. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.